Okay. Number 5 and 6 both refer to this conversion rate problem, where essentially somebody's traveling in India and they're using this credit card that charges a 4% fee on the converted cost. And the first problem is asking, what is that exchange rate for Indian rupees per $1 did the bank charge for Sarah's most recent purchase, which was 602 rupees? The bank posted a charge of $9.88 to her account, which included a 4% fee. So it's very important here that we remember that we can divide this into 2 steps. First, we can calculate the original cost of Sarah's purchase in dollars, and then set up a ratio to find the exchange rate. And we gotta keep track of our units here, it's very important. So we know that dollars, $9.88, that included her 4% transaction fee, right? And say the conversion, so first we'll have to find what that, what her purchase was in dollars. So we'll call that X, okay? Or actually better yet, let's call it D for dollars. Okay, and we know that however much she purchased in India, converted to dollars, we'll have to add a 0.4% fee to that, right? Because that's how much the bank charges, so 0.04. And we know that total the bank charged $9.88. Therefore, we can solve for D. So 1.04D, right, adding those two up is $9.88. Therefore, D is 988 over 1.04, and I'll leave that to the end to actually solve. But we know that then we can convert this into rupees, right? So let's say D times the conversion rate, let's say C, is 602 rupees. Because that's how much she actually paid for her purchase. So then we can solve for the conversion rate that the problem asks for by doing 602 over D, which we solve for D up here, and if you punch it into your calculator, you get, let's see here, so 602 divided by 988 times 1.04. That gives you 63.37 rupees. And they said to round to the nearest whole number, so let's just round that to 63. So our answer will be 63 rupees. Okay, let's move on to number 6. This is, now Sarah has an option between a prepaid credit card versus her original traveler's card, which has that 4% tacked on. So we're asking how much she has to spend in order for the prepaid to be cheaper than charging all the purchases on the traveler's card. In other words, prepaid, cheaper than traveler's, right? So let's say she buys R rupees of stuff. Okay, so R is how much she purchases. How much does she spend, though, on the prepaid side? Well, it's still 7,500 rupees because it's a prepaid card, and you pay that amount no matter how much you actually spend. Okay. On the traveler side, however, she spends R rupees plus that 4% that the bank charges, right? So then we can just solve this inequality and solve for R. So R is greater than or equal to, well, 1.04R is greater than or equal to 7,500. And if you put that into your calculator, you get 7,212 when you round. Okay, so that's what you can grid in. There's your answer. So again, interpreting this, that means if Sarah spends more than 7,212 rupees, then the prepaid card amount that she spent on it was still less than the amount she would have paid if she spent that much rupees and her bank ended up charging her for it with the 4% interest fee. Okay, number 7. Oops, I don't know why I wrote 72. It should be 7. So we know that a squared plus 14a is equal equal to 51, we want to know what a plus 7 is. Okay, so here, this is setting up for a quadratic. Okay, let's subtract 51 on both sides. Now, we can factor this. Let's see, a plus 17, a minus 3. Okay? And you can check for yourself that that will yield this if you FOIL it out. And so, based on our quadratic that we have here, we know that a can be negative 17 for this to be 0, or a can be 3 for this to be 0. We're also given in the problem that a is greater than 0. Okay, well then that means a has to be 3. Therefore, if a equals 3, then a plus 7 is 10. There's our answer.